gone. Just like that. He's gone. No tears, no goodbyes, head in hands, and it feels cold like ice. Burning regret deep inside. Reaching back to yesterdays to trace our last goodbyes. Do you know what it's like to vaporize a 5-year-old kid at close range? On my shoulder, he sobbed. We cried. He used to tell him he was a cook in the Navy. A SEAL's life. Don't want to talk about it. Attempts to survive. And there's no taking it back. You can't undo the lie. Because there's no coming back from suicide. A.J. Krause was a Jersey City veteran, and on June 6, 2017, he died of a sailor's heart. And today was one of my proudest moments as a veteran. I marched for the first time since 2003 when the Lions Combat PTSD Unit wanted to parade us down Fifth Avenue with a PTSD banner. I marched with Veterans for Peace, Jersey City, Chapter 21, and I saw banners for Gold Star mothers, and I saw banners of faces that we lost, but we don't talk about the faces that we lose long, long, long after the light of the last flare fades. And that's suicide, depleted uranium, Agent Orange, toxic, dirty, degreaser, dirty water, barium, mefloquine, anthrax, vaccinations. You can find them all on the War-Related Illness and Injury Study Center website. It took decades for the Vietnam veterans to stop being called conspiracy theorists. I too was poisoned. And I served in a war long ago, so forgotten that I forgot it myself, and I didn't submit anything here. I thought this was a World War I exhibit. I turned it off. How ironic. These are my kids. They're every veteran's kids in here. Anyone that ever came home and brought the war home with them. And I saw it is important to do artwork and to use our voices and take these blank canvases and tell the stories that haven't been told. And it's been a painful one, and I've been avoiding it. I've been avoiding the deep moral injuries, but this week I was faced with those head on. I met Kathy Eldon and Amy Eldon. Kathy Eldon's the mother of Dan Eldon, and one of the journalists that was killed on July 12th after the Mogadishu massacre in 1993. Who ran to the scene to put a spotlight on what we did to them over there. And they didn't have the mercy of shrapnel or an AK-47 round or an M16 round or an RPG. They did to them what America thought they weren't capable of. They fought back for their freedom, the ultimate freedom fighters, and they National Geographic style ended their lives that day. And they made a film about it. It took 20 something years, 24 years. I was at the New York City premiere on Monday. The Journey is the Destination. It's a feature film. And I'll tell you what, I was there. And when I saw Black Hawk Down, I said, that's not how it went down. Okay? I sat and I had a mirror held up to me to show me what I looked like over there. And you know what? The moral injuries run deep. And it's not every day that you see a Somali woman in a New Jersey pizzeria. She said that people often ask her if she's from the islands. Her eyes as bright as her smile, Somalia shining through her chocolate skin, hair no longer laden with the parched winds of Africa, but with the winds of a blow dryer. No textiles to robe her from her head to her feet, the Gap version of her former self. Assimilation. For becoming American, she pays through her children, their tongue, no longer her own. Iskawarin, I said. You know Somali? Confused look comes over her face. She searches for the answer in my fair skin and freckled arms as my son places a quarter in the gumball machine behind me. Mogadishu, I said. Her jaw drops as my son's gumball falls to the dirty floor. Oh no, she says. May I have another quarter? Sure. Thank you so much, I say. She slips a quarter into my son's hand, and suddenly, all the Somali children screamed in my head. Water! 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 Fuck you, America! America, fuck you! And the guilt of hellfire raining on her people rips through my being, transporting me back to convoying, full speed, heart pounding, blood racing, under the facade of a humanitarian mission. And my son pops the bright green gumball into his mouth. Peace had been restored to my unknowing American boy. Dan Eldon, creativevisions.org, has funding for veterans. The Journey is the Destination. It's a feature film that tells the truth. Thank you.